You think your house is messy because you haven't decluttered enough. But decluttering only controls what goes out, not what comes in. Here's what nobody tells you. A lot of the clutter actually comes in through your door because your brain fools you into thinking you need it. So today, I'm going to show you the 4 excuses your brain uses to let clutter into your door and how to catch each one before it gets inside. If we haven't met before, I'm Astha and I've spent years writing about the impact of clutter on my blog Eye of the Calm, which is a community of over 30,000 women that reaches over 1 million viewers on Pinterest. I used to be a classic hoarder until I realized my home was actually stressing me out. So I started digging into the science of why we accumulate things and how to stop. So these 4 excuses to let clutter into your house that your brain uses aren't just theories. These are things that I learned to recognize in my own life and finally overcame them. Here's the thing about stuff in your house. Nothing that you own broke in. Every object was carried through the door, usually by you. So clutter isn't just a cleaning problem. It's a door problem too. Cleaning only happens after something is inside. The decision that actually changes things happens before that. Every good story has someone guarding the entrance. Gandalf on the bridge, Heimdall on the Bifrost, the Night's Watch on the wall. And then there's me at my own front door in a dressing gown holding a parcel I don't remember ordering. Nobody ever told us that the door was a job, so we left it open. And you can't out clean an open door. If more comes in than goes out, your home will fill. That's not a failure of discipline, that's just arithmetic. But nothing actually comes in through your door without a reason. In that moment, that reason can feel completely convincing. But in reality, more often than not, it's not just a reason, it's one of these excuses that your brain is actually giving you. So let's start with the first one. Fake reason 1. You've earned this. You spend Saturday cleaning a cupboard. It looks great. You feel incredible. And then, that same weekend, you buy something. Usually it's storage, baskets, matching bins, a label maker, sometimes an entire shelving unit for a shelf you just emptied. And more often than not, without even realizing it, you have just added to a pile of things you didn't really need. Science actually explains why this happens. 2 consumer psychologists, Fishback and Dhar, found that when people feel like they've made progress on a goal, they actually become more likely to do the opposite of that goal. Because to you, making progress can feel like an instant credit in your account, and credit gets spent. Here's the fix and the rule. Don't treat empty space as credit or as a reward for something in the future. The empty shelf is itself the reward. That's the whole prize. So after you've done a closet clear out, don't buy anything for the next 2 days, especially not storage. Just give it a week and observe your patterns on how you interact with that space. What you really need will become obvious. If you shop while you're still on the high, you will end up buying organizers you don't need or the wrong kind of organizers for your space. And you'll do it feeling super productive. Fake reason 2. You need this. You've just had a bad day. And Prime is showing you a pack of 6 calming sheet masks that will arrive by tomorrow. The usual advice is don't shop when you're upset. But that's pretty useless because it doesn't address the actual issue. Science has a much better answer and it's genuinely surprising. Researchers at Michigan looked at why shopping makes people feel better when they're low. Here's what they found. When you've had a bad day, most of what's bothering you is out of your hands. Things happen to you. You didn't choose any of it. Shopping is the exact opposite of that. You get to choose. You pick. Right down to the right color, size, occasion, everything. For a few minutes, you are the person in charge. That feeling of being back in charge is what actually lifts your mood, not the stuff you bought itself. And the researchers proved this. In one version of the study, people were asked to add things to their cart, knowing that none of these things will actually get sent to them. None of these things were going to arrive. They felt better anyway. So the choosing is actually what is helping you feel better, not the buying. Which means you can actually keep the part that helps you feel better and skip the part that clutters your home. Here's what I do, and I didn't even know about this study back then. I browse around on the app, I add stuff to the cart, and then I don't order it. I just let it sit there for a while. And after this, one of two things happen, and both are useful. Either I forget about the cart that I had created, and that actually tells me everything I need to know, or I come back to that cart months later, still wanting that thing I had added, and I order it, and that is the stuff I've never regretted buying. I'm actually not resisting anything. I'm enjoying the process of shopping, adding stuff to the cart. I'm just not pressing the final order button, and I'm letting the cart do the deciding for me. Fake reason 3. I can always return it. This is the sentence you use to get past the checkout. If it doesn't fit, I can always return it. You will not. Two researchers, Peck and Shu, found that the moment you touch something, a part of you already feels like you own it. And that's exactly what the delivery does. It arrives, you open it, you hold it. Now, suddenly, sending it back doesn't just feel like returning something, and you don't even realize it, but you start feeling like you're giving away something that you already own. So you don't actually return it. It sits in your wardrobe for a year. I have a pair of jeans like that. The return was never the actual plan. It was just a sentence needed to get past checkout. Here's the rule. Before you buy anything, say the honest version out loud. I'm buying this. I'm keeping this. If that sounds fine to you, then buy it. If you need to add, I can always return it to that sentence, then you've answered your own question. Don't buy it. Fake reason 4. It's free, so it doesn't count. This is the biggest one by volume and the one you never actually end up noticing. Hotel toiletries, conference tote bags, buy one get one frees, samples, party bags. The neighbor who says, I was going to throw this, do you want it? Dan Ariely and his colleagues found that when something is free, people stop doing the maths on it altogether. Free does not get weighed up, it just gets accepted. Which is why you'll notice a lot of the stuff in your house is stuff that you never actually remember getting, because you never really made a decision about it. It's just something you accepted because it was probably free. But free only describes the price. It doesn't describe the cost. The free stuff still costs you space on a shelf, still has to be cleaned around, still moves houses with you. And one day, it still needs to be decided about by you on a Saturday when you're really tired. You actually didn't avoid the decision. You just postponed it and made it harder. Here's the rule. Give free things a price. Look at it and ask, would I pay for this? Not is it nice, not will I need this someday. If I had to, would I pay money for this? That one simple question will help filter out a lot of clutter that's coming in through your door without even you realizing it. So take a look at all these 4 fake reasons that your brain is giving you to let clutter in through your door. Look at what they have in common. Every one of them is actually a way of not making a decision. That's the whole thing. Nothing forces its way into your house. It gets in because you assigned it a temporary, no thinking required reason. And that is good news, because catching a fake reason is small work. Cleaning is not. You will need to clean that same shelf for the rest of your life. But what comes through the door is one decision per object. That's it. You don't have to become strict with yourself. You don't have to become the person who owns 4 jumpers and a plant. You just have to catch the reason before stuff gets into your house. You've been the cleaner all your life. It's a terrible job and you never applied for it. Choose to be Gandalf instead and just say, you shall not pass. That's just the worst Ian McKellen anyone can ever do. Now this door strategy stops new clutter from coming in. But what about the clutter that's already there? The hardest things to let go of that are already in your house are rarely junk. They are the things with a person or a story attached. The unwanted gift, that expensive purchase, the thing that once belonged to someone you loved. For those difficult items, I've actually created a free tool called Let It Go. It asks you a few simple questions about the object you're finding hard to let go and helps you make a decision about whether to keep it or to let it go. It's inside my free guide. I've linked it in the description below. And by the way, this does not mean becoming a minimalist with 4 plates and a chair. I've actually done a whole video on why you don't need to become a minimalist to declutter and create calm in your own home. You can click right here and watch that next. I'll see you in the next one.